Friday, December 23rd, 2022, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Today, we're going to look at why a raging bull market in silver would make a mockery out of the fiat dollar or the paper dollar and the whole fiat currency system. Before we start, though, I'd like to make a couple of announcements. We won't be having the Mike and Mario show tomorrow. Mike could make it. The other one is I'd like to thank all of you out there, be it the old subscribers, people who have been with the channel for the last 6 years, and also all the new subscribers that have come on board in the last month or so. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate at the end of the year, and that 2023 is a prosperous new year for you too. So before we go into silver, though, let's finish off the questions from last week, and there's only 2 here. So it's from a global gold rush from Cairo to Vienna, and it's from O'Corrent. The spot price of gold is presently dropping, even though people in the East, India and Egypt, are snapping it up. Is that because paper gold is being sold off? Well, I'm not sure which spot price of gold you're talking about. I assume that's in US dollars. Yes, the price of gold this year in US dollars is down slightly for the year to date. But what you need to understand is that gold is traded in all different fiat currencies. So those currencies in those places you mentioned are going down very sharply versus the dollar. So the price of gold actually goes up in those currencies. So that's how it works. But I would say as well, there has been a lot of paper gold traded. Gold and silver are traded as currencies in the foreign exchange market, which is probably the biggest casino in the world. It trades in trillions of dollars every day, which is crazy. It doesn't really reflect commercial flows amongst countries. It's more of a speculative game, and it's highly leveraged. I mean, there are accounts online that you can trade FX 100 to 1. So and that's what it is, partly. The last question here from last week is from Silver Highwayman, a global gold rush from Cairo to Vienna video again. Percentage of gold to own, question mark. I base my percentage on my trust in the system. Example, I have 2% trust in the current system, so I keep minimal fiat in the bank and my wallet. So I guess he was answering his own question there. And I agree with Silver Highwayman. And yes, you need to think of silver or gold as money. And yeah, how much do you save? It's up to each individual and each individual's circumstance. And talking about silver and money, let's go on to silver. And why I think a raging bull market in silver would be the death knell of the dollar. Well, I saw a tweet earlier this week. Let's see who it was from. I think I retweeted it. Rob Keynes from Gold and Silver Pros retweeted it. Originally, it was from Silver Colonel. And I thought this was really good. Buying silver is not spending money. Silver is money. You are simply converting your fiat money to real money. Yes, a lot of people talk about how silver is more important now as an industrial metal, but I beg to differ. Yes, it is important as an industrial metal, but I think it's going to come back, make a huge comeback. It's going to rise like a phoenix. And you just have to look at the word for silver in different languages. A lot of times they mean money, like in Spanish, plata, silver means money as well. In French, argent means money as well, and silver. In Portuguese, for example, dinheiro comes from, which means money, comes from denarius, which was a silver coin. Even the dollar is, the name comes from Thaler, the Maria Teresa Thaler coin, which is a most famous silver coin in the last maybe 300, 400 years, I would say. And here's a silver Thaler, the Maria Teresa silver Thaler. I've got one of those here, as you can see. And if you look at, that's why one of the reasons why I like also collecting the old coins, because you can see how silver was money up until recently in every country. And yes, the silver squeeze movement started back in 2021. We are almost in 2023. It started around end of January, beginning of February 2021. Yes, it's taking time for that squeeze, but I think more and more people are becoming aware of silver. As you can see here, the other day, Jim Lewis from Wall Street Silver, who I've had on the channel and I've been on their channel, they have a huge following on Twitter, Wall Street Silver, and guess who's following Wall Street Silver now? Elon Musk. Am I saying that's what's going to make silver go up? No, this is just a symptom that people are becoming more and more aware of silver, and I thought that was quite interesting. Just wanted to go through this quote here. Many of you probably have heard this quote, and it goes like this, and it's from Norm Franz. Gold is the money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, barter is the money of peasants, but debt is the money of slaves. And I would add, for a debt, I would add CBDCs. And that's my hope, I think, my hope is that a raging bull market in silver would destroy the current system and might not allow the central bankers to come out with anything. Because right now they're still in a position of power, so they keep coming out and going on about CBDCs. Suffice it to say, I think silver would be a huge spanner in the works for them. And even when I first thought about buying gold, and I did buy gold in 2002, I bought gold first, and it was only about 9 months later that I realized I need to buy silver too. So yeah, silver is kind of like the forgotten metal, and I think it's very important though. And they make it seem that it isn't. But if you look at this chart here, this is a chart that we've been talking about for a while in this space. And it's this massive teacup. And what is a teacup? Well, I first learned about the teacup back in around 2003 and 4, because there was a major teacup forming in the gold chart. Coming back from the late 90s to around that time. And the key level at the top of the teacup at the time was 400. That was the key level. And the objective was like 700. And lo and behold, that teacup worked. And I first learned about the teacup formation from Jim Sinclair of JS Mindset, Mr. Gold. I've been following him since 2002. But what does the teacup signify? Well, I think it signifies a volcano, so to speak, like a price being kept from exploding through whatever it might be. Yes, manipulation or whatever. But the last time silver really took off, as you can see here, was in the 70s, when it went from below $2, from like $1.30 in 71, all the way to almost 50 in January 1980. And most people associate that with the Hunt brothers trying to corner the silver market. But I think it was a lot more than that, and I've spoken about this before. The Hunt brothers, they had a huge inheritance, that huge oil business that created a lot of revenues for them in dollars. And back in the early 70s, of course, we had the moment when Nixon closed the gold window and the dollar became I owe you nothings, as John Exter said in 1972. And I recommend you read this article, John Exter's. I'm going to put it below in the description. So the Hunt brothers weren't silly, and they knew that they had to protect themselves because their oil revenues were going to become worth less and less. And at the time, they couldn't buy gold because it was 1972, 73. Only on January 1st, 75, could Americans buy gold legally. So they started accumulating silver, physical silver. They took a lot of delivery on COMEX. But then by the late 70s, they maybe got a little bit too greedy. But the reason why the Fed under Paul Volcker, the Treasury, the regulators, CFTC, had to get involved was that it was a threat to the dollar. The dollar was almost dying. In 1978, the U.S. Treasury was issuing bonds in foreign currencies like Swiss francs and Deutsche marks. So that's how important silver is, and they couldn't just let silver become, the go-to currency, the go-to money. And so for the last 45 years or so, or 42, 43 years or so, silver has been kept in this teacup, so to speak. And now I think the handle here on the right-hand side, that's the handle. Maybe it's the left-hand side on the video, but for me, it's the right-hand side. That's an important part of the teacup. And yes, it's taken a long time, but I don't mind because I like collecting my old silver coins. Yes, I do have bullion silver as well, but the history of silver is very interesting. The fact that you can see history through the coins and you can see how the monetary system worked is very interesting. So you can benefit from it and learn a lot from having silver. Yeah, some people just want to make I owe you nothing's profit because that's what the dollar is. So that's why I think a raging bull market in silver would really put the dollar in jeopardy. And I don't think we can have a collapsing dollar without having a raging bull market in silver. So usually the teacup formation, the way it plays out, that it breaks through the handle, then it breaks the top of the teacup there, which is around 50, and then it just explodes higher. Yes, there's usually a target, but I won't make any predictions. Am I saying we're going to see this in 2023? Difficult to say, but one thing I'm going to keep doing is I'm going to keep stacking. So with that, let's check where the markets are this morning. It's 8:22 a.m. London time. We got gold at $17.96. It's up about $3.50. The high's been 98.5, the low 91. Spot silver is up 15 cents at 23.72. High's been 79, the low's been 23.50. The Dow futures is up 15. The NASDAQ 100 futures down 17. S&P is down about 1. The currencies, sterling is up slightly here at 120.62. The euro likewise at 106.10. The dollar is up 0.25% versus the yen at 132.72. And the dollar is down 0.2 versus the yuan, just below 7. To the other currencies here quickly. The Aussie dollar is up 1/3 at 66.90. The dollar is down 0.2 versus the Canadian dollar, 136.26. And the Kiwi dollar is up 1/3 at 62.73. So now let's have a quick look at platinum. Platinum is up $10, It has dropped below 1,000. It's trading around 992 right now, platinum. To the other commodities, WTI crude, that's up 1% at 78.23. Brent crude is up 0.75%, 82.11. High grade copper is up just over 1% at 380. And US nat gas is down 1% at 490. To the bond market, the 10-year Treasury yield is up 2 basis points at 369. Let's have a look at the UK before we finish off. It's probably going to be a quiet day for the markets here, but yeah, we are trading. The 10-year yield is up 6 basis points at 365. The 30-year is up 7 at 395.